Listen to me right now in this moment. Stop scrolling, stop doubting, stop playing weak. You weren't born to live average. You weren't created to wake up every day second guessing yourself, scared to chase what's yours. Somewhere along the line, the world lied to you. They made you think you're not good enough. They made you forget the fire that was once in your chest. But deep down, you know it's there. That voice that says, I'm meant for more, that's not a fantasy. That's your potential screaming to be unleashed. Self-confidence isn't about arrogance. It's about walking into the storm knowing damn well the storm isn't ready for you. You build it by keeping promises to yourself. You earn it in silence when no one is watching. You sharpen it through failure, through war, through pain. Stop apologizing for wanting to win. Stop shrinking to fit into places that were never meant for you. Self-confidence is not given, it is taken. From the grip of fear, from the jaws of comfort, from the lies of mediocrity. If you're breathing, then the fight is not over. So stand tall, look your reflection in the eye, and say it loud, I will never be weak again. Self-confidence is built through consistent action and discipline, not words. You can talk all day about your goals, your dreams, your ambition, but unless you're putting in the work daily, those words mean nothing. Confidence isn't something you're born with. It's forged like steel in the fire of repetition, discipline, and relentless effort. Most people walk around trying to feel confident before they've done anything to earn it. That's backward. You don't get to feel like a lion until you've hunted like one. Self-confidence is not about waking up in the morning and saying, I believe in myself. It's about waking up, showing up, and doing what you said you would do, especially when you don't feel like it. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, every time you push yourself when no one's watching, every time you keep a promise to yourself, your confidence grows a little more. People want shortcuts. They want hacks. They want some motivational quote to magically transform their mindset. But let me tell you something. Confidence doesn't come from what you say. It comes from what you do. If you say you're going to train every day at 6 a.m. and then hit snooze, you're teaching yourself that your words are meaningless. If you say you're going to build a business but spend your nights watching Netflix, your mind knows you're lying to yourself. And that's the silent killer, self-betrayal. Every time you lie to yourself, every time you break a promise, you chip away at your confidence. You start to believe that maybe you're not capable, maybe you're not disciplined, maybe you're not good enough. But it's not because you're weak. It's because you keep giving yourself excuses instead of results. Confidence is a result of evidence that you can do hard things, evidence that you've done what others wouldn't. That evidence only comes from consistency, day in, day out, not just when it's easy, not just when you're motivated, but when it's pouring rain, when you're exhausted, when nobody believes in you, not even yourself. That's when it counts the most. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. And that right there is where real confidence is born. You cannot respect yourself if you keep letting yourself off the hook. The world will never believe in someone who doesn't even believe in their own standards. You want to walk into a room and command respect, then you need to earn your own respect first. That means showing up and putting in the work when it's boring, when it's painful, when no one's clapping for you. Forget the external validation. Forget likes, applause, attention. Those are fragile. They'll vanish the second you stop performing. But internal confidence, the kind that's unshakable, that comes from knowing that no matter what, you've got your own back, that you can trust yourself to do what needs to be done. Most people live in fear because they've trained themselves to quit. They've trained themselves to chase pleasure and avoid discomfort. But that path doesn't lead to confidence. It leads to regret. The man who trains his mind and body to obey his own commands, that man becomes unstoppable. Confidence is the reward for choosing the hard road repeatedly until the hard becomes normal. Want to be confident? Wake up early, train hard, eat clean, speak the truth, keep your word, handle your business, show up when no one else does. Every action you take is a vote for the person you are becoming. Discipline is the path, action is the vehicle, confidence is the result. You're not special if you haven't earned it. You're not worthy just because you exist. You become worthy by living with intensity, direction, and purpose. And that happens through action, through sacrifice, through grinding when the rest of the world is sleeping. So stop talking about what you're going to do. Stop making promises you don't keep. Start acting like the person you say you want to be every single day. Eventually, the world will see what you already know. You're built different, but first you have to prove it to yourself over and over again. That's how real self-confidence is built. The world won't give you respect. You must demand it through your presence and results. That sentence isn't just a phrase, it's a law, a universal truth. And the sooner you understand it, the faster your life will change. Respect is not handed out like candy. It's not something people owe you because you're a good person or because you have potential. The world is harsh, ruthless, and results-driven. It watches silently as you speak, as you move, as you act or fail to act. And then it decides what you're worth, not by your intentions, not by your dreams, but by your execution. You don't get respect for what you plan to do. You get it for what you actually do. And if your presence doesn't speak power, discipline, and certainty, then don't expect the world to listen when you talk. The reason most people never get the respect they crave is because they've spent their whole life waiting for permission, waiting for someone to see their value, waiting to be discovered. But let me tell you something brutal. No one is coming. No one is sitting around hoping you rise. No one is watching your struggle and thinking, wow, I hope they succeed. The world is too busy focusing on its own problems. If you want to be respected, you must force the world to take notice. And that only happens when your results become undeniable, when your actions speak so loud that people have to pay attention. That's the only language the world respects. Results. Your presence is your first weapon. When you walk into a room, how do you carry yourself? Do people feel your energy before you speak? Do you look like someone who commands discipline, who's built, who's sharp, who's alert? Or do you walk in with slouched shoulders, tired eyes, and a mind full of doubt? If you don't even respect yourself, how can you expect anyone else to? Your posture, your focus, your eye contact, all of it sends a message. And if that message says, I'm unsure, I'm soft, I don't believe in myself, then don't be surprised when the world walks right over you. Respect begins with presence. Before you even open your mouth, people already know whether to take you seriously. But presence alone isn't enough. You can't fake this, because the moment you open your mouth or the second someone checks your track record, the truth comes out. That's where results matter. You want to be taken seriously? Then you need to perform. You need to show receipts. Your habits, your wins, your discipline, these are the bricks you use to build your reputation. When people see that you're consistent, that you do what you say, that you deliver, you don't need to beg for respect. You walk into the room and it comes to you. Not because of your name, not because of your story, but because your results are louder than your voice. Think about the people you truly respect. Not the ones who talk a lot, not the ones who flash success but never follow through. You respect the ones who are about it, the ones who move with certainty, the ones who put in the reps, the time, the sacrifice. That's what builds weight behind your words. That's how you move through the world with authority. You don't need to announce that you're a beast when everyone already knows from watching you work. That's earned. That's real. And there's no shortcut to that level. The moment you decide to stop seeking approval and start creating undeniable proof of your value, everything changes. People will either respect you or fear you, but both are better than being ignored. That comes from your grind, your discipline, your sacrifice. While others sleep, you're building. While they complain, you're training. While they post, you execute. And slowly but surely, your results begin to speak louder than your name. That's when the world starts to shift. That's when doors open. That's when respect becomes a natural side effect of how you live. So stop waiting. Stop begging for acknowledgement. You are not a victim. You are a weapon if you choose to sharpen yourself. Stand tall, move with intention, train harder, speak less, execute more, build a life that doesn't require explanation. And remember, respect isn't given, it's taken through presence, through results, through unrelenting proof that you are someone who cannot be ignored. Comfort is the enemy. Confidence grows only when you confront fear head on. That's not just a catchy line. It's a brutal, non-negotiable reality. Comfort is seductive. It whispers lies in your ear, telling you you're fine where you are, that growth can wait, that maybe tomorrow is a better time to start. But here's the truth. Comfort is a trap. It's a slow, silent killer that robs you of your edge, your hunger, your evolution. Every time you choose comfort over discomfort, safety over risk, ease over struggle, you reinforce weakness. You teach your mind and body to avoid pressure. And the more you avoid pressure, the softer you become. The softer you become, the more fragile your confidence gets, until one day you look in the mirror and don't recognize the person staring back at you. Confidence is not built in your comfort zone. It's built in the fire. When your heart's racing, your palms are sweating, and everything in your brain is screaming for you to back down. That's the precise moment where confidence is either built or broken. Confidence grows when you push through resistance, not when you avoid it. The gym hurts, the cold shower stings, the hard conversation makes your voice shake, but each one makes you stronger. You get sharper, harder, more dangerous. Why? Because you didn't fold. You showed up when it was easier to hide. You chose the path of resistance. And that path is the only one that leads to real, unshakable confidence. You don't become confident by telling yourself affirmations in the mirror. You don't become confident by watching motivational videos and getting hyped for 5 minutes. You become confident when you do the thing you're afraid of again and again until the fear has no more power over you. When you walk toward fear, it shrinks. When you run from it, it grows. It doesn't matter how much talent you have, how smart you are, or how big your goals are. If you keep choosing comfort, you will never reach your potential. You'll stay stuck in the illusion of safety, wondering why you feel empty and weak. Fear is the testing ground. It's nature's way of asking, do you really want this? Everyone says they want to be confident, disciplined, respected, but no one wants to do what it takes. No one wants to walk into the unknown, take the hit, risk the failure. But that's the price. That's the toll gate between average and elite. And the people who understand that are the ones who rise. They don't just confront fear once, they live there, they train in discomfort, they invite pressure. They understand that every moment of pain, uncertainty, or stress is a gift, a chance to grow while everyone else stays soft. If you keep chasing comfort, you'll never find greatness. You'll never build that iron belief in yourself that says, throw me into the fire and I'll still rise. That kind of self-trust doesn't come from feeling good. It comes from doing hard things. Confidence is earned every time you do something difficult and survive. It's built when you take the leap, fall flat on your face, and get up anyway. Every scar, every failure, every uncomfortable experience, those are the building blocks of a bulletproof mindset. You can't cheat the process. You can't fake toughness. You either face the fear or you don't. And if you don't, it owns you. The most dangerous version of you is not the one who's never afraid. It's the one who feels fear and moves anyway. That's the person who becomes unstoppable. That's the person who grows. Because the more you stretch yourself, the wider your limits become. Eventually, the things that used to scare you become normal. The fear loses its grip. And with every conquered fear, your confidence compounds. You walk taller, you speak louder, you trust yourself more. Not because the world told you to, but because you've earned it through battle. So if you want to grow, stop seeking ease, seek resistance. Put yourself in situations where you can fail, where you have to adapt, where your heart pounds and your mind says, I can't, and you answer, watch me. Stop asking for the path of least resistance. Ask for the path of maximum challenge. That's where the power lives. That's where confidence is built, not given. Choose discomfort daily. Choose fear, not because you like it, but because you refuse to be ruled by it. Because you understand one thing. Comfort builds nothing. Fear builds everything if you face it head on. So hear this clearly. Every time you choose comfort, you lose a piece of yourself. You lose that edge, that fire, that hunger that makes you dangerous. But every time you face fear, every time you lean into discomfort instead of running from it, you become more resilient, more powerful, more you. Confidence isn't some magic emotion that shows up when life is easy. It's a muscle. And you build it through pain, through pressure, through showing up when every part of you wants to quit. If you want to walk through life with certainty, if you want to look in the mirror and respect the person staring back at you, then you need to suffer on purpose. Not for punishment, but for power. There's no other way. You want to feel alive? Step into the storm. Take on the fight. Fear will always be there, but so will the opportunity to dominate it. Comfort is the cage. Fear is the key you choose. But understand this, every great version of you is on the other side of fear. So stop hiding, stop waiting, stand up, face it, and take what's yours. That's how real confidence is built. Not in comfort, but in conquest.